Can I start?
Yes, sir, we are live now.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Sushil. Today, with my team, we are going to demonstrate and explore the development of entire MERN stack. As you all know, for the application development, we need to go through the life cycle of development that is called as SDLC. After analyzing the things, we need to confirm the designs. My team will be explaining you the entire software development life cycle, right from the designs, UI designs. We are designing through Figma, and then for the front-end development, we will be using React. For API development, obviously, as it is a MERN full stack development, we'll be using a NodeJS, ExpressJS, MongoDB. To elaborate the every possible development, we had considered one example, or we are developing an application that is based on the temperature data set. Our application is going to collect all the cities data, accumulate in the database, and then through user interface, we can able to list out all cities data. We can search it out any specific city data. We can find out the city details, which is having the maximum temperature and the minimum temperature, just minimum temperature. I know this is not a big example, or rather it's not industrial related example to big example to elaborate the things. But as this session is dedicated to all that beginners for the MERN stack, at the same time who want to explore MERN stack as their technical expertise to establish career, I'm assured this session will certainly help them out to understand and explore the entire full stack development using MERN. My team will explain you right from the utility of the software, from where you get the downloads for installing the softwares, how we can develop and design the entire code and designs. Means starting from design to deployment, everything we will try to cover in this session. At the end of a session, we'll be open this forum for Q&A. You can write your questions, queries on the comments, or whoever may be lively attending these sessions, they can ask the queries so that I can answer all the queries, and then you will get the solutions on it. Hope the agenda of this session is clear to you. We'll be exploring the entire MERN full stack development, the entire SDLC required for application development that we are going to demonstrate. I'm going to hand over this session now to my team. They will start the sessions, first of all, from the Figma designs, then slowly, once the designs are over, okay, they will explain you how the designs has to be developed through Figma, then front-end development, then API development, API testing, database development, API integration, and the entire application presentations. That is what actually agenda is set for. Team, let's start the presentation then.
So, hello everyone. Hope you are all good. And here, for creating a templates temperature application, we using a Figma application. So first we have to create a UI UX designs. So for that we use a Figma application tool for the web templates. So let me introduce about the Figma application. So here are the contents. Firstly, I introduce about the Figma and installation of Figma, advantages and features, interface, framing, tools, and last is the prototyping. So, what is Figma? Let me tell us about the Figma. So, it is the collaborative interface designing tool, and it is the platform to compare to other UX designing tools. If your team requires inter coordination designs and efforts, then Figma is the best UI UX tool. So it is the web browser based web-based design tool that built interactive user interface. So here let me tell about the uses of Figma. So now let's look at what you can do with the service of Figma. So Figma is a handy tool for brainstorming that you can use boxes to write anything what you might need to refer to, along with using different shapes and adding comments. So for designing interactive web pages, it is a cloud-based designing tool that is similar to Sketch in a functionality and its features. But with the big difference that makes Figma is better for a team coordination. Go on the next, that is the installation of Figma. So firstly, you visit the Figma website or app and click on the Get Started on the center of the top right of the corner of the screen. So use your Google account to log in or to create an account, and you can enjoy the free plan to the Figma. Here, you also set up your Figma account like figma.com or open in the Figma or in a desktop app. So select the log in the form of the navigation bar and enter your email address and then your password and click sign in to access your account. So it is the setup for your Figma account. This is the main page of the Figma that you enter as shown in the below image. And here is the main page of Figma that appears when we can make web designs as per our according requirements. As shown in a figure, you can assess that. So here are some advantages and features of the Figma. So Figma runs in the browser and make it accessible from any devices with the internet connection, while we're working together simultaneously. And here we can also easily to share the files. So this platform is offers that a variety of features that can be used to improve our design's productivity and make the responsive designs as we required according to the customizable templates. It has also option of export as a PDF. So there is no need to save your work, and it loads fast and speed, and it is highly recommended. And here there is one other big advantage of a Figma That is, it allows the real-time collaboration on the same file. So this is the advantages and features of the Figma. So there is a framing interface and tools. Let me introduce about the framing. It is the modern interface designing tools. So for designing, we use the shape tools, pen and pencil tools, text tool, hand tools, and comment tool. So let me first introduce about the frames. So for creating frames, click the canvas to create a default frame with 100 into 100 dimensions. So the frame is also called as a wireframe. Choose a popular device templates like a desktop, phone, tablet, and there are many more options to choose a popular device templates. So a frame is essentially a container for other elements. So there are a couple of ways of creating a frame that we can either click and drag in the canvas area, or we can select a preset frame size from inspector on the right side of the window. So you can try both ways as you suitable as you. So here are the tools for creating a interactive designs. So we use shapes tool. For creating designs, we use rectangle, lines, arrow, polygon, or a star to make the web page interactive. So we can also use a pen and pencils. This tool allows you to create a new vector points or to editing points, and we also can hold while creating a new line to curve your vector line. So we also use the text tool. Text tool is used for type your text, or it is also called as a type tool and also called as a brainstorming, that you can add your text to your file, and it has a features like font, bold, and italic that makes a creative font and attractive colors. And next is a hand tool. That hand tool allows you to click around within a file without activating hover outline or moving objects. So here is the comment tool. uh, that this is where you create and review all your work in the canvas, and there are the layers at the left side of the editor page where every element in the file is listed to organize into frames and a group. And in the right side of the editor page, there is an inspector that allows to show contextual information and setting for whatever object is selected. So here is the figure shown below are using in the Figma. It's showing tools like rectangle, line, arrow, polygon, ellipse, and star. And here is a inspector in the left side of the screen. And next is a prototyping. So prototyping in Figma are currently limited to the single page, that it allows to have a separate prototyping in a single document. It is used to link one page to another page. Here is the figure that shows the prototyping. And thank you for Axiom team.
Hi
Hi
everyone.
everyone. Thank you, Dhanashri, for explaining about Figma. I will start with explaining my designs. I'm sharing my screen. So directly coming to the design, here is the landing page of the temperature task. We have created and this is the create page. Here user can enter the data like city name, state name, minimum temperature and maximum temperature. Here is one button. After that, for the display page, we have created like card like displaying for particular city's name, state name. Here user can display their data, all data. After that, for the search page, we have like taken one input field and one button, and we can display in the form of cards. Like here is the 50-degree, 25-degree, and Nagpur city name Nagpur and state name is Maharashtra. User can define in a card form. And for the minimum temperature, we have like taken also a card showing its minimum temperature like 7 degree. For the maximum temperature, we have taken in the form of card showing its maximum temperature like 50 degrees Celsius. It is easy to create with the Figma. We can deal with Figma easily. And I have used here prototyping in all the pages. So here are the designs for temperature tasks. For this UI, we have given the link, Figma link in the description. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Myself Himanshu Kasar. I'm going to tell about today React and how to use that React app and what will be the path of the in that React app and the advantages of the React app and what will be the technologies to be required to use the React. I'm going to tell you that now. First of all, React is a tool for building UI components. The React was built first in 2011 in 2011 for Facebook news feature. It was created by a software engineer, Jordan Walk. He was a software engineer in a Facebook. React is a tool for building UI components. React is referred to as a front-end JavaScript framework. It is a JavaScript library created by Facebook. React is a single-page application. In React, using components, we use components. So that why we use React. React allows us to create reusable UI components. A single component in a file like app.js we can use that multiple times. React is used to build single page application. A single page application means we can redirect from one tab to another without reloading. React are simple to scale. A single language used on the server, client, or mobile side. Things grant outstanding productivity. There are workflow patterns for convenient teamwork. I will explain the workflow of React app. UI code is readable and maintainable here. And some of the advantages of React. React is a dynamic web page application. Application becomes easier. We can create a dynamic web page application easily. And JSX allows HTML and JavaScript to be combined in one file. As it present, the JSX format will be present in the app.js file. And learning React is simpler than learning other JavaScript frameworks. Components are also reusable blocks containing both UI and logic. And even ReactJS helps us to create awesome UI. There is a benefit of having JavaScript library in this ReactJS. It is an awesome developer tool. Now, here are some prerequisites. There should be the knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and Git to the user. Knowledge of package management with Node.js and NPM should be there by user. And the code editor is Visual Studio Code. And Node.js and NPM should be locally installed in the PC. Now I will show how to install the React app. First, to install React app, we have to install this Node.js file. So now I will show how the Node.js will be installed in your PC. So simply we have to use this link and we have to type Node.js in the search bar. And after writing first link, there is you will see two options. We have to use this one, recommended for most users. As it installs, we have to install it. As I installed it already, so I will not go for installation part. But yeah, and to check this, now we open this our CMD command prompt. And here we type it should be using the small letter. Now here is the version of our Node.js. It is successfully installed. And after that, we create app. So we have to first create one folder here in our desktop. I create a folder name app. After that, open it and I'll open this VS Code now using command. Code is opening now. Now to create the app, we use the command in the terminal, that is npx create React app and the name of our app. I name my app demo one. It will be created now in our folder. This here. It will take some time to install the packages and our app to create. As I already created one, so I will show that the demo app I have created. This is my folder, app H1D, and I'm going to run it. So first, after opening it, this we have to give a path of our app where the app is present. So using CD, we are going to give that. Like I will give H1C. Now here the part is set in the our C drive in the Windows folder. Then the React folder, our H1C app is present. So now to run this, we hit npm start. Now our app will be start. This is how the app will be started. And now I will explain the path of the our app path, how it is represented. So first, there is a HTML file named index.html in the public folder. So we see here the total HTML document type, and here in a body we are using div, and we are given an ID to the div a root, and this will be represented in src folder in index.js. Here it will be gathered by document.getElement by ID, and it will be rendered from app.js file as we are imported here from app. There will be a function named app from the our app.js file. Now here is our app.js file. So we are using here a function named app. Then in the return type here total will be our JS fragment will be present. In this our output will be presented. This is the front end code here present here. So it will gather by the this rendered function, and using this React DOM create root, it will show us the output in the web page, like, as it is shown here. This is the simple presentation of creating an app in React. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So today I'll be explain what is the REST APIs. So I hope my screen is visible to everyone. So just going for the presentation where it is. So today I'll be explain the what is REST APIs. So REST is stand for the representational state transfer, and API stand for the application programming interface. So in this session, I'll be talking about the introduction of APIs, what is REST APIs, and why we use REST APIs, and working of REST APIs, and key features of REST APIs, and some example I also told in that. So first of all, we just understand the what is the REST and how to use and why we use. So REST is the stand for the representational state transfer, and API stand for the application programming interface. Is and the easy. Yes. So it is an easy way to handle the communication between the individual system as a different as a smartphone and other low or rated website. So I just telling about some information about the REST. So it is the software architectural style. It is a set define the constraints that creating the web services, and when we creating the web services, REST API is accessing it, and we it provide for free and without any error. So we just go for the next, that is the why use the REST API. So REST API is the framework what introduced by the computer science Roy Whitling in 2000, and today is the shape how you use modify transfer and content online. There are some contents in REST API. So first one, that is a client server architecture. In REST API is a client server architecture when the server and client act independently and
PM.
interface stay and same the processing and request handling. And next one, that is a stateless REST API. It is a design and it is meaning anytime when the client and server communicate, it always includes the necessary information needed and perform the requests. And catchability is a simple way. In when we use the catchability, it means that the clients and server uh, any intermediately component connected. When we connect the clients and server, it's able to create the cache resources so that they will write and improve our the performance. And next one, that is a layer system. In layer system, it's just the grouping of layering, which is layer having the design function and that is the needed to perform. And next one, that is a uniform interface. Uniform interface, it is the architecture design that can allow you to client talk to the server in one specific language. That's why we use the uniform interface. It is one of types of contents in the HTTP. And last one, that is a command on demand. In command on demand, we just apply to the transmitted through the API. We use the within the application. It's allow the code and them is transmit through the API and talk to each other. And next one, that is the working. So what is the working of REST API? So I took the one image in that I simply and showing the how the REST API working. So first of all, let us consider we send the request to the clients and in the form of URL, that is a get, post, put or a delete, and then server response back to the browser in the form of HTML, XML, image or JSON. But now in days, most popular that is a JSON. That's we use the JSON format because the JSON format is understandable for the machine as well as the humans. That's why you use the JSON format for the responding the server. And next one, that is the key features of API. So it is the application programming interface. In that we use the HTTP request for the get, put, post, delete, and patch and etc. So we go for that requests. So first one, that is a get method, second one, that is a post method, third one, that is a put method, and last one, that is a delete method. So we go for the some understanding. So we just understanding about the get method. What is the get method? So get method, it is simply types. Simply when we send that when we having the retrieving the data from the server, that's time we need to use the get method. And when we creating the data from the server, that time we use the post method. And we when we use the create when we executing the some data and we having the retrieving that data or update that data, that time we use the put method. In put method, if our data is exist, so that data will be updated, otherwise that data will be created. When we use the patch method, so in patch method only the data will exit, that time is not runnable. But when the data is not exist, that time is not created the data, it just updating the data. That is the difference between put method and patch method. And the last one, that is the delete method. In delete method, it is simpler. The data is present, that data will be deleted. So just we go for the live demo. So just I use here VS Code. So simply I just stop my server, and here it is for the creating the web service. For creating the API, we need to install the Express. So Express, in simple language, Express is help. It is a framework for the NodeJS framework, web application framework. It is for the creating the. It is a robust set of features. Is a help to web and phones for the creating the app. And if you want to install the Express, so we need to install a one command, that is a npm install I for the install, and then just type the express and just enter the hit button, so your express will be dependency will be installed in the package.json. So here you can see the express, and next one that is express. I just express that I use that express in my program, and I just create that express as an app just because express is creating for the web and applications, and in I use that app as the router. We provide the requests or methods. That's why we create the one folder in that, that is routes, and in routes we create the one API projects folder. In API project folder, we need to get the our commands methods, that is get, post, put and delete. That's why I use here, that is a I give the path here for the my folder, that is the request methods. And last one, that is we want to create the port. So just app.listen and process an env port, and we having the get put our port number, that is 500 I take a, and whenever the program is run, the console will be showing the one message, that is the now listening the port 500. So I just run that program. So in that when we run that program, we need to having a one dependency, that is nodemon. So nodemon is a provide the faster execution. For that's why we need to install the nodemon. So it is same, so we need to npm install and nodemon. So when we click the enter button, is dependency will be installed. So here it is the nodemon. So I just run my program. So just enter the and nodemon index, my file, that is index.js. That's why I enter there index. So just enter, and my server will be start. So here it is showing that message, now listening the port 500. So here it is showing that, and go for the methods. So in that method we need the express for the apps, and also use that folder, that is routes, for the express in route. For the we are creating the index .js in that folder, and creating the another file in that. I just fetching that API. Just that's why we need to import that router express.router, and we just creating the app. That's why we having the router.get, and here it is the endpoint of. So for the checking, and we just I created the get as well as post and put and delete, that all the similar, but only just we need to change the endpoint, that is get point, it is only the ninjas, and the port, it is just a ninjas port, and just put for the ninjas put, and the delete for the ninjas del. And we having the run one function, that is request and response, that is whenever the our program will be done, that it's showing the one message, that is a get. It is a what are the types of message user can change. I just type here that is get, so we can recognize that is a get method, that is a post, and that is put, and that is delete. So for the checking that all the process, we need to use one software, that is Postman. So we simply go for the Postman. So here it is. I use the Postman here. In that we just create hit the plus button in it, creating the new collection, and on the click just add the one request here, and here it is, you can change your request. So I just test one, and here the get method. So we need to paste our address. So my address, that is local host colon 500 slash ninjas. So we just passing here, and then here. So here it is showing the get method, and when we go for the post method, we need to add the endpoint, that is a post here, and just change the method here, and click the send button. So here it is a post method, similar to the put method as well as the delete method. So I just showing that. So here it is put method, and that last one, that is a delete method. That is, we just passing that endpoint, that is del. So here it is showing the delete method. So that for the REST API. Thank you, sir.
So as you see how to create the API and how to use the API, what is the use of API? Now we have to create the API for our application as per as our application requirement, or we also need the database, that is the MongoDB. So now we learn small thing about the MongoDB. Let me share my screen. Hope my screen is visible to all. So we will see the introduction of the MongoDB. And also we will introduce the introduction and their features and some summary. So MongoDB, it is a popular open source non-SQL document database that provide a flexible and scalable solution for managing and storing data. It means MongoDB, it is used for storage purpose and it stores the data in the form of JSON. Instead of storing the data into the table or row format, here is storing the data into the JSON format. For that, he required the schema. And some features of MongoDB is, that is a document-oriented storage. It means here is a document will store the JSON file, and also the full index support, replication and high availability. It means we will use the document or the data which will be stored into the MongoDB for any server, and it is also auto sharding. It means they properly load or balance the data, and we want to use the MongoDB Atlas. It means that they have the web form or also the app form. So here is the table content. So the relational data will be stored into the MongoDB as in the form of value and key. So there, for example, here is the first name, surname, city, and location. These all are the keys, and there another one will be the value. So now we see how to use the MongoDB. So first we will search, that is the mongodb.com. We need to create here the account. So first we have to create the account, and if you have the account, then click on the sign in button. So we will see this interface. If we have already created an account, so here add the email address. Otherwise we log in with the Google also. So this is the Atlas. Here we will store our data into the form of JSON, and we have to connect the database into our file. As we see the folder structure and the file structure. So for the connection, we have to click on the connect button and driver. So here is the one URL. We have to copy that URL and use it in our file. So in index file, we have to connect our MongoDB, that is the mongos.connect. And for connecting, we have to first install the MongoDB. For that, we use the command, that is npm install mongos. And here we also use the body parser. It plays the roles of middleware. It means it posts the data from URL and it gets the data from the database in the form of only JSON. So for that we have to install body parcel also. So let me check in package.json there is a dependency that is the Mongoose and the body parser. And for the connection, here we add the URL. After that, we need to create a schema for our storing variable. So for that, first we have to create the schema. So as per our requirement, here we create the schema for the city, state, minimum temperature and the maximum temperature. And use that schema into our file, that is the api.js. So we have to first create a URL for the posting data. So we have to post the data into the ninjas because we have to create the schema that is ninja. So for the posting here, I have created the URL that is ninjas and the function in which request and the response. And we have to create the data or entry. So for that here use the method that is the create and the function which will be send our data. So this is the method for the post, and for getting the data we use the method that is the get. So we need the data into the ninjas. So for that here use the ninjas.find. So in this way we have to get the data which will be stored in our MongoDB. Similar for our requirement for the highest temperature, we have to create one URL and we have to get the data, particular data. For that we use here the find one method, and we have to give the highest one. For that another one method is used, that is the sort. So with the help of sort method, the data will be arranging in the ascending order and we need a highest one data. For that here we use the -1. It means it get the last one data of all data. So this is for the highest temperature, and also we have to find out the lowest temperature. As our requirement, we have to find out the highest and the lowest temperature city. So here also the similar find one and the sort method will be used, and for getting the first one data here we use the +1. So here we have to create the all possible URL which we required in our application. So now we will test it that. So first we have to run the code. So now the listening port will be the 4000. So we will test it our data. We have to add here the URL for posting data that we already created here. That is ninjas. And we have to post the data according to the our schema, that is city, state, minimum temperature and the maximum temperature. And click on the send button. So here our first data is entered into the database. Let's we check the database MongoDB. Here is the browser collection. And here our folder will be appear, that is the ninjas, and our one data will be stored into the MongoDB. Similarly, we will post another one data because we have to compare 2 or 3 data for a maximum temperature and the minimum temperature. So this is the second one data. This is the third one. So we also created the URL for getting the data. So for getting data, click on the get method and enter here the URL and then click on the send button. So we get all these three data which we are posted. And also if we want a particular city, for that we have to enter the name of that particular city and click on the send button. So we get that particular city's data. And for the maximum temperature and minimum temperature, we have already created the URL. This is a URL for the maximum city. And click on the send button. So we get the data which have all of them have only that data which have the maximum temperature, that is the Kolhapur 2. And if we want to delete a particular data, so here we use the method delete and enter the name of that particular city. So we get the message that is city deleted successfully. Now we check with our database. So the city which we are deleted, it is deleted from our database also. So now we have created all the possible API as per our requirement. Now we will go for the API integration. That's it, sir.
Thank you, Aarti. Now we have API database with connected, and now we have to create a UI that integrated with that API, REST API. So firstly, we show the UI, that how our data will be manipulated with this UI. So this is the UI. Firstly, we have to create one. So submitting, and then here is the card. Each card indicates the object of that city that we have created. And similarly for the max temperature, it indicates the maximum temperature all of the data set and the object that having all data set and the data of that object. Similarly for the minimum, and for the search, we have to use the get method and passing the parameter which is city, that we can get the particular city with the name. So for that we have to add here a city, then if you find, then you get the city. So now we go to the code. How for the cross origin platform, we have to first need the course. Course stand for the cross origin resource sharing platform, which is indicate to share the REST API data from the different domains. It means we have two websites, and we have to connect the third website and find the data of that two websites. So we are passing the course for that. This is the use of course. And for fetching the data of the URL API, JavaScript provides the two methods, which is a fetch method and Axios. Here I have used the fetch method. Firstly, for the creating, we have to start with the post method, and this is we have to first create a form for all the criteria that we want, like city, state, max temp, and min temp. and store all the data in the state variable. Here, what is usestate? Usestate basically is the state management hook of the React, which is used to manipulate the state. That it means here take the condition, which is the data, state data. State data is a setter variable. With the help of that, we can manipulate the data, and this is the initial value of that. It means that we have initial value is the object. So we can target all the input tag names values and stored in the object, which is the set data, and all the object was stored in the data. Like this, for posting the data, we have first create a response, and this is the await function. The why we use await function, because JavaScript, the main motive of JavaScript is to give us the result of UI as early as possible. But in this case, we have to manipulate our data, and it takes some time to get the data from the API. So the fetch, await, and async function get us some moment of pause for that. So it didn't give the error, which is the promise error. So firstly, we have used this API that Arti was created, and we have to post our data first. So for that, we have to pass two variables. First one is the body. The body is similar to the schema that we have created in the API. So this is the schema, and this data is the form data that which are stored in the form of object. So this schema, if this schema is the match, then our condition will be matched. And second one is the header, which is the header. We can pass the content type, which is application.json. For that, we have to pass two variables for the post method, and after that, we have to I have created here variable which is stored all the data from the response and in the JSON format, and we have set that data to our database. Here I get one condition, which is the get. Later I told you why I will get that. And the second one is we have to display the data, which is the read. So for the reading the data, we have to first get all the data and manipulate in all the data values in the form in the cards, like I have showed you earlier, like this. It means the Nagpur, Maharashtra. So for that, we have to first get all the data. Like similarly, in this case, we have get the data, so we don't have to pass the body and the headers. So similarly, we can fetch the data and get all the data and stored in the date. And similarly for stored in that array. Basically, this is the data when means the array of objects that include all the data of ours. So, and this data include all the objects of that. And here I use the map function. Map function basically JavaScript property. The map function didn't mutate the original array. It create the new array. Every time we use the map function, then it return the separate array. Like every array of that having a separate value, then the card will be appear, and every card will be separated once. For that, for using a map, we have to pass the info. These info contain the every single object of that database. So for that card, info.ct input, we have here is the card that rendered in every card having the different value of that, because the map function runs to the data of that all the data from that database. Info.ct means that this is the city, state, and max temperature and min temp. So this is the function of the map, and how we can display our data. So why we use here a use effect? So basically we have to render all the data while every render. So if we didn't use, then our website will be stable. So that's why we have to use the use effect and pass the dependency over here. We can pass the dependencies means it can render only first changes, and if we remove that, then it can render every changes. So for that, and the second one and the third one is to find the max temperature. So find the max temperature, we have to use the reduce method. firstly we have to get all the data, and similarly for the useEffect function we use for that we can change our data with every render. I mean first render. So find the max temperature data. So reduce method is the similar, not similar. It is the method of that JavaScript method, which is reduce the value of the object and give this only single value. So for that we have to reduce all the and previous and current, and this means the first object and second. And for the finding the maximum temperature, then previous dot max temperature means the first object having max temperature is greater than the second one, then it return the previous value, and otherwise it return the current value. And this object that whatever he returns can we can store it in the setter function, which is the city with max temperature, and the city with max temperature card all the data of that object that we get in the set from which is the maximum that we can manipulate our need. So it shows only the data, the card having maximum temperature, and all the data of that come from that city with max temperature, like max temp, city, state. Similarly, that max temp, city, and state. Similarly, for the minimum temperature, we can rewrite the condition, revert the condition that the previous minimum temperature. Here I get the minimum temperature of that for displaying the minimum lowest temperature of all the minimum temperatures in that overall object, overall data. So for that we have to pass the condition opposite to the maximum temperature, that minimum temperature is less than the current temperature. Then it return the previous or current. Similarly, we can store all the object in the set city with min temp, and here I display all the data in the form of this. And the third one was a search, that how we can get the data according to our need, that we can add the like this here the Nagpur, and if we write the data, then it show the error city not found. The validation was applied here. If we find the onward. So these find the data of that, find the data in the database of the UMRED. So for that, we have to first create the form having input tag and button. While we submitting the button, it return the data. And for that, we have to add some function, which is the first one is the on click from the form, and second with the handle change. For the handle change, we have to declare the one variable here, useState variable, and we have to target the value of that input tag that what we can type on that. Then with the help of set function, we can store this value in the search and give the value to the input tag. It means we can have access now of the every value of that input tag. And the button is for the clicking the function of that. When we click on that, then it get the firstly we can get all the data of all overall data, and then we can filter the data according to our need. So here is that function that we can find the data. So result.find is also the function we can provide by JavaScript for finding the unique data that we want by passing the parameters. So result, if we enter the city here, that first we get that object that we can store in the result, in the set result and result. This is the array of all the data that we have. So and that manipulate that array, and that dot find is the method we can find, and I is the every variable, every value in that object. So if that object, what find method can did that object in that means it get all the object that and find the city. If this city match with the search, that the value we can add that search, and it return that only that array of that, and that's stored in the set city variable. So similarly, we can we can search the city. Then if that city is matching to this, then that object will be stored in this setter variable, and this variable will be, if that value will be true, then it will set the maximum temperature, minimum temperature, city and state in the form of card. Like I already showed. Then if wasn't true, then it show the message that city is not found. And last one was the delete. So how we can delete? Okay. Firstly, I can show you the read. How I can add the delete button over here that we can delete if we clicking on that delete icon. So we already use the map function. That map function we can give the separate array of every object in the form of card. So for that we have to add one icon in H1. This is the icon that application that is the React icon, and passing the function on that icon, which is the handle delete, and passing the city of each value of that object array that written by the map function. So if this city means the city of that card which we have indicated like Nagpur and Umred. So for deleting method, we have to add a delete method, and this city is every city that available in that object in database. So for that we can use the fetch and delete method and response. Here is the filter. What filter method does? It muted the original arrays. Muted the it means that we have all the card of object of arrays, and we have to delete one. So we have to remove that city which we click. So for that the filter method is muted the original array. So we can get the all data from that setter variable. We can firstly get all the data and find the city which didn't match. If we search city will be match here, then it didn't return that city. So it is not equal to that city. Then it muted the original array and removed that city that we click on that delete button. So for that we have used that here catch method. If some error is occur, then it show the error. And similarly for that, and if here is some validations also. If the city was already available here, for that I will firstly get all the data in create and find the cities. And if we search cities are already available, then if not available, then it posts the data, and if available, then it show the error. And test it out. So it shows the city as it because there is some capital letter and small letter. We can add another one. So it show the error city is already exists. So that's it for the day. This is my task. Thank you.
Okay. Hey everyone, you did a wonderful job. The motive of this presentation and the live session is to just explore the MERN's full stack development. Now the forum is open for you guys who were maybe attending the live sessions as well as available in the forum. They can raise the queries if you have any so that I can answer that. So it's all welcome to your all queries. I'll be responding to that. You can comment on the live streaming so that we can answer your queries. As I know, this entire assignment and explorations was done by my trainee application development team. I know that there is a scope of improvements as they have to get a lot of experience from the industry. But these efforts of them to explore MERN stack and convert it into applications that certainly benefits to them as well as benefit to the beginner of MERN stack developer as well. We will do a normal practice to explore the technical stuff and then exchange the ideas and elaborate it into the forum. So I believe, hope you like this idea, and if you have any queries, you can raise it. In the meantime, what I can do, I'll ask some basic things to my team, okay, how they explore this entire full stack development. Let's start with the front end team. Okay, like as you are using React as a front end development tool, as well as the designers design this Figma. My query is for Dhanashri. Okay, while designing any front end or any designing, what is your effort? Basically, like what is your, like, okay, what I can say, the way to design the things means, have you understood the requirement from the client well and then go for the designing? What's your way of designing? What inputs you require to design a specific UI? Any designing team can take this. What is your approach if you want to design any front end designing?
Understanding the concept of that designing, and after that I will go through the work on UX UI. So firstly, I understand the concepts of Figma, like basic concepts, like how to use the tools and
okay, you mean,
I
got you. Okay, means first of all, once user story is explained to you, you will be doing your paperwork, and then by using Figma tool, you will be providing the 3 samples to the client, and from that 3 samples, whichever the best client likes, right? You use your creative ideas with your team and then elaborate to client and then finalize the designs.
Yes.
Okay, now I believe these questions will be for Samir. Samir, how you explore React as a why React? Point number 1, and because you can design the front end through HTML, CSS, as well as some other technologies are available. How you find React good, and how in the front end development, and like how you explore these all the front-end development tool, if you can answer this.
Yes, sir. Firstly, why React? Because React is a single page application that it is the faster execution, and the main point is that here we can use the component based development. So for that we don't have to create a same page for the every time, that we can single component can reuse multiple times. And apart from this, the React, the JSX in React can allow us to write a JavaScript inside the HTML. Write the HTML inside the JavaScript. So this is the key feature for me for the React.
Okay, that's wonderful. Yes, now the next query for Aarti. Aarti, can you explain us what are the various other tools also available for testing the APIs, and like, okay, how you explore your MongoDB and all? If you can give us the elaboration on this.
Yes, sir. So for the testing, there are many tools, that is Postman, which we use, and also the Insomnia, Swagger. There are so many tools. So the Postman, it is their interface is easy for understanding, and we get knowledge from them. Means we cannot face any problem to when we interact with the Postman tool. So that's why we use here the Postman. And
you mean after the development of the APIs, before integrations, obviously, as API means it's a server-side code which should be interacting with the server-side database and develop the response for the client. So whichever calling to this API. So there are various tools available like a Swagger, Postman, so that all the APIs which you produce by using the documentation, like providing URL, like, okay, the endpoints and the parameters, by giving them these all the things, whether the APIs are giving proper response or not, we have to use these testing tools and test the API before integrations, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I believe these all tools what we are using, as well as the code which we develop, that is all available on the links. We already keep this entire GitHub links on the link on the YouTube links over there. So everyone can download, and it's a publicly accessible. They can you can utilize the code and explore. At the same time, all the materials are available. Your queries, your actually, if you need any assistance from our end, we are always open for you. Now I'll conclude this live streaming. I hope this effort of us from the trainee application development team really needs an appreciation from your end, so that they can explore, and by exploring only we can multiply the knowledge. So like I found these guys did wonderful job to develop an application through this entire, right from the designing to like testing the APIs, developing APIs, and at the same time integrating them. So now, Samir, if you can give us the ideas, what are the various like deployment tools available? Means if I want to make this application available in the cloud, what we can do?
So here are various tools available like Versal, Netlify, which is a free. For that, apart from if we want to go for the paid, then AWS, Microsoft Azure also did the same work. And GitHub also for the publishing and sharing, which is the wide range of reach of that code. So these are some tools that which I have used for that deployment, sir.
Okay, perfect. Means like after developing an application, at the same time after testing it, you can even able to deploy by exploring some of the platforms or cloud platforms which are available, free shareware. At the same time, you can have a paid versions as well. It's a wonderful elaborations for today, guys. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed the explorations. At the same time, as I told you, if you are interested and if you want to have any questions, you'll feel free to ask us so that we can get back to you with the answers. Thank you very much. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you, sir.